Hello guys, welcome to this new video, and we are going to configure this network right here. Let's start by plugging everything in. Okay, we're not going to do a lot with the switch. What we are going to do is more we're going to be working more with Dhcp. We are also going to work with PPP and CHAP in a serial link interface over here, and this one, the ISP, is going to be performing the clocking because that's how it works in real life. The ISP is the one that performs the clocking and the one that gives you the speed or the bandwidth for your home internet. And we are going to set up 3 servers. We're going to have one with a DNS server, TACA server, and also a website over here on the outside. So let's go ahead and plug this in. And if I find anything else to configure, and if I have a lot more time, I will go ahead and do that as well. I might add another router or another ISP and perform BGP if I have time. Okay, everything is cable in, as you can see. This one's going to be, this is 2, so this one is going to be 3. So we can go ahead and do that now. The DNS IP address is 10.1.1.3 255/24. Default gateway is going to be this one that is not configured yet, and the DNS server is going to be itself. Alright, and we need to perform a static IP address on a DNS, because if you don't do a static and do DHCP like we're going to do for the computers, the password tend to change, and then we won't be able to reach that DNS server anymore. So make sure that you configure a static, and when you do the DHCP, make sure to exclude this IP address so nobody else uses it. Okay, services, DNS, we're going to have a record, turn DNS on. So let's see, the name of it is let's go to your cisco.com. It's going to be this one over here, and it's going to be at 8.8.9.2. Okay, that looks good, and it's on, so that's ready to go. Let's go to this AAA, and let's just configure the IP address on here. It's also static, because just like the DNS server or any server that you have running, you don't want the IP address to be changing, because if it changes, then you won't be able to reach it, right? Okay, 10.1.1.2, that's good. Alright, so we are looking good, guys. We are looking good. Now let's go ahead and configure this router. First of all, let's say no to this. What I want to do first, let's make this bigger so you guys can see, because I know I'm blind and I can barely see that. That looks a lot better, right guys? Yep. Okay, so let's go to the router, enable, let's give it a host name to customer. Is that how you spell customer? I believe it looks right. Let's say just customer. And first, what we need to do is the serial interface is actually, let's leave it for last, because we have to also configure a DHCP server over here. So what we need to do is go ahead and configure this interface over here. Gigabit 01 IP address 10.1.1.1.0. Now shut down. Okay, that's good. Now let's go ahead and configure the DHCP server. Let's exclude a couple of IP addresses. So 10.1.1.1 through 10.1.1.3, right? Because we're using 10.1.1 here, .2 here, and .3 here. Okay, now let's create a DHCP pool. We are going to call it we can call it home. You can call it whatever you want actually. Here we have to configure the network. That's 0/24, right? And now the default gateway is going to be 10.1.1.1, which is this interface over here. That's the default gateway for all of them. The DNS server is going to be the DNS server 10.1.1.3. Okay, that's looking good. And let's exit and let's see if these computers can get their own IP addresses from the DHCP server. And here it is. It started at 4 because we excluded 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 because we don't want to use it. Do the same here. And here it is, .5. So that's good. Now, what we need to do is go to the ISP router, and we can actually just move it to this side so you guys can see what I'm configuring, and so I can also see. Okay. Oh, the device is off. Nice. Let's turn it back on. Fast forward. Okay, now let's give it a host name, ISP, and now we can configure this IP address on this serial interface. IP address 8.8.8.1/24. Now shut down. Let's give it a clock rate. So this actually, I'm actually being the internet service provider. So let's say you're paying $100 for a 64,000 clock rate. So that's what you're paying. So that's what you're gonna get, right? So this is good. We already provided the no shutdown. So what we can do is configure the DHCP server to give you an IP address to the customer, right? So this is basically how Verizon or any of those internet service provider do it. So let's go IP DHCP excluded address. Let's exclude this IP address that I assigned because I don't want to assign it to the customer router, right? Since I'm using it. So IP DHCP again. Now the pool name is going to be customer. How do you spell customer? So with customer. Customer. Man, alright. And now let's configure the network 8.8.8.0/24. That's going to be the network, right? Default gateway is going to be 8.8.8.1, which is this one right here. That's good. DNS, we are going to use our own DNS, which is this one over here, 10.1.1.3. Okay, and that should do it for that DHCP. Now what we can do is go over here, go to that serial interface, let's go to the serial interface and configure that interface to get an IP address from the DHCP server. 3.0 IP address from the DHCP server, DHCP. I forgot. So if we're using a serial link, we are not able to configure DHCP. If you're using a serial link, that changes everything now. Let's go exit, interface, gigabit, and let's do IP address. So we can do it. We are able to do it if we are using a giga interface instead of a serial link. So with a serial link, you cannot use DHCP, so that changes everything. What we can do is then let's manually configure it. It was still going to get this one anyways. 8.8.2. Sorry for that. 255. Not shut down. Okay. So that changes all my plans. I never configured DHCP server on a serial link, so that didn't work. So I just configured manually that IP address, right? So now what I can do is just configure PPP encapsulation, point-to-point encapsulation, and also CHAP authentication. So the way you do that is we are going to state on that serial link interface 030. Actually, let's exit out of here and let's configure a username. And the username that I want to configure is this one, the host name of the ISP. So ISP, and the password. Password that we want to configure is going to be Cisco. Okay, now let's go to the serial link interface, encapsulation, point-to-point, and now point-to-point authentication. We are going to use CHAP to authenticate. Now you can see that our interface went down, and it also is down over here as well because we're not able to ping each other. So what we need to do is, here it is, it's down. So what we need to do is go to that interface, or first let's exit out of the DHCP. Username, we have to configure this username over here. It has a capital C and it is case sensitive, so we got to make sure that we get everything. Paste. Now the password is Cisco, needs to be the same as the one configured here. Okay, now we can go to the interface. So interface, your link, encapsulation is point-to-point, and we are going to use point-to-point authentication. We are going to use CHAP. Here it is. Now it is up. Let's see if we are able to ping. Now we should be able to ping from the ISP. We should be able to ping the customer, which is that too. And here it is. It is working perfectly. So that's good. Now we have configured point-to-point and CHAP. Let's see what we have left. What I could do now is let's try to, oh, we cannot tell now. Let's configure on this line VTY 0 to 4. We are going to tell it, okay, we don't have a password set over here. So let's see, login. Now login using local. What we could do is go exit and let's do a secret. Not a secret. We need to do a, oh yeah, enable secret, let's call it Cisco. Let's go back to line VTY. Password is not set. For this one, let's call it, no, not secret, let's call it, not password, but let's call it secret. Let's just do a password. And it's Cisco over here. And now we can do the login synchronous. Okay, so that's good. Now we should be able to telnet to this router from any computer. So let's go here and do telnet, and we can telnet to the default gateway, which is that one. There we go. The password that we put was Cisco, right? And from here is Cisco. So we configure the password to log into the VTY, and also the password to go to the privilege mode. And I set both of them to Cisco. Okay, so we actually do not, since we want to add more users, we cannot do it just through the this router over here. But what we want to do is use TACACS, which is this over here. So we have to enable TACACS server, and to do that we need to go to services, AAA, and we're not going to do radius, we're going to do TACACS. The client name is going to be this host name, customer. Okay, oops, now the IP, the client name is this one, the IP address is 10.1.1.1. the secret we are going to just call it Cisco, and the one that we want to add is this one. Alright, so now we can configure any username. Let's create one called XX and another one L, and with the password L as well. And as you can see, we can add as many usernames or usernames as we want, and that way we can have like different people configure the router at the same time with different username and password. Okay, now let's go ahead and configure that on the router. We can do exit, and for here what we can do is AAA. We need to create a new model, then AAA, and what we want to do, we don't want to do authorization or accounting, we want to do authentication, and what we want to do is login, enable login, and we're going to set up as default. Default. I'm sorry, and after that, what we want to do is actually use group, because we're going to use a server group, which is going to be TACACS. So let's go ahead and choose group, and the next one, the group that we want to do is TACACS Plus, because that's the one that we have configured on the server, TACACS Plus. Now we need to go to the line VTY, and from here we need to configure login authentication using the default. And now if we're remoting via telnet, we have to actually use the usernames and passwords that we configure over here, which was L and the password L, or X and the password X. Let's telnet again. As you can see now, before it did not ask us for a password, for a username first. It only asks us for the password. So we can use X, and the password for that username that we configure over here was X as well. So we are able to log into just X. It gave me invalid, so let's go X again and X, and there we go. I guess I pressed the wrong button, but there you go. Never mind, it told me that the connection was closed by a host. Let's see if we're able to remote in with L and L. L and L. It's not letting us remote in for some reason. So I think I forgot to do something. Exit. Why did I forget to do it? Let me see. Okay, yeah, so I forgot to actually do the server, to add the attack as server. So we need to add the attack as server, and the host of the attack as server is the IP address of it. So it's 10.1.1.2, and the key that we used was the password over here, which is Cisco. So we need to go ahead and configure that. Key Cisco. Okay, I knew I forgot something. Sorry for that, guys. Now let's go remote in again, X and X, and there we go. Now we are able to remote in. Let's end it, or let's do exit. Let's go to Telnet again, remote in with username L, and the password was L. Okay, if we can add more usernames here. Let's see that we just hire a person called Rob, and the password that he wanted to put for that was Cisco. So let's go ahead and add that. Now we have 3 usernames. We have L, X, and Rob. Now let's go ahead and remote in using Rob. So let's exit out of here. Telnet, Rob, password Cisco. There we go. We were able to remote in to that server using Takas. So this is good, guys. And now let's go ahead and configure this website over here. Services, HTTP, and let's configure this index. I think if we edit it right here, yep, what we can do is do a h1, which is a header. Close that header, and let's tell it welcome to Cisco website. Okay, now let's save it. Yes. So let's go to this desktop. Let's configure that IP address. The 9.2. Subnet mask is /24. Default gateway is this one. DNS server is that one. Is it that 2 or that 3? Oh, that 3. Okay, that's good over here. And now let's go ahead and plug this in. It needs to be a rollover cable, right? So copy and paste it. This one is gigabit 0/0. Let's go ahead and configure this IP address of this interface. Exit out of here. Interface, the IP address .9.1 and /24, of course. Now shut down. Okay, that's good. Now we have a connection. Now first let's see if we can ping. Make sure that we're able to ping. So let's exit, ping 8.9.2, destination unreachable. So we do not have this network over here. Let's do an N show IP route. So we don't have that. We don't have that route right here. So what we could do is create a static route. So we can go config t IP route. So if anybody is trying to reach this network, I want you to send it to 8.8.8.1. okay, that's what I'm telling them. If anybody from this network wants to reach this other network, please send it to this ISP, and this ISP should be able to send it to that server. Let's go ahead and try to ping again. And let's see what we have. Request timeout. So now it is timing out. It is reaching, but it is timing out, and it is timing out because we are able to get there, but the server is not able to get back to us. We cannot ping. We do not know where this subnet of this domain is at. So what we can do, go to the ISP and do the same. Basically, from the ISP, we can do an IP route, right? And if anybody from this side, from this server, actually is trying to reach this network, I want this router to send it to this router, because this router is going to know how to take care of it. Let's go ahead and try to ping again. And there it is. Now we are able to ping that this website over here. So if you are able to ping that website, now we should be able to go to that website, cisco.com, right? And there we go. Welcome. No, I forgot an E. Welcome to Cisco website. So what I could do is go to this server, go to services, HTTP, edit that index, put an E in there, save it, say yes, go back to this computer and go back to Cisco again, cisco.com actually, and there it is. Welcome to Cisco website. Welcome to the Cisco website, I should say, actually. Let's go ahead and edit that again. Welcome to the Cisco website. Save it. Yes. Actually, out of here. Cisco.com. There we go. Welcome to the Cisco website. And also, we are, if you do it from this computer, we should also be able to reach that website. There you go. Welcome to the Cisco website. So it is good. Our network is working correctly. So this is great, guys. So this is all good now. And what this is doing, actually, I'm going to show you how everything is working. What I'm doing is I configure this DNS server over here. So when this computer is trying to reach cisco.com, what it does is it pings the DNS to get the IP address of the Cisco website. So when we do who is cisco.com, it goes to DNS, and DNS server sends the IP address of the cisco.com website, which is 8.8.9.2, and this one, oh okay, 8.8.9.2. this is not on my network. So what it does is it sends it out to the default gateway, which is customer 1. And when customer 1 sees that, and we have that static IP address that says that if any computer inside this network is trying to reach 8.8.9.0 network, what it does is, oh, I know where it is. I'm going to send it to the ISP, because ISP knows how to take care of that. So it sends it here, and this one has that network, so it sends it to the server because he knows where it is, and then that server or that website sends it back with a reply to this to its router, because it is a 10.1.1.0 network, and this one says, oh, I know where it is. Customer this router knows where it is, and of course he knows where it is because it is inside this network, and then it sends it down to the either PC1 or PC0 or PC1, and then you are able to open that website. Okay, so this is how this network works. And well guys, this is it for this video, and if you guys enjoy, just go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more videos coming up, and also follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips, and also you can go to my website at ccdtt.com, where I have a lot more labs and a lot more configuration. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.